Hi, and welcome to this episode of Victory Talk with Latasha White. I am super excited to have in studio with me today Pastor Lena Middleton, very good friend of mine. She is the pastor of New Spiritual Life Christian Church. And, today we're just going to have some girlfriend talk. And this girlfriend talk is really going to be literally on the same lines of what we talk about every single week here on Victory Talk. And that is, first she wears a hat of a wife. And she wears a hat of a mom of 2 college children. Prayers for all of that in 2 different states, mind you. And, she's an entrepreneur. They have 3 businesses in addition to the church, right? Or including, yes.
In addition to.
Yeah, so that's a lot, right? So she's got a lot on her plate. So what we're really going to do is talk first about the hat of a pastor, because what I talk to you guys about all the time is really walking out your purpose, no matter what that looks like, no matter what other people are thinking, saying, doing. And I can't say that it's probably an easy task or an easy yes to say, yes, I'll pastor. When she was in her 30s, when she started pastoring, she's now been pastor for 7 years, a little over 7 years. They just had their church anniversary. And I admire that. I admire it because, saying yes to your purpose is, it feels right, but still you wear a human suit, right? And you feel like I've got to walk this out no matter what. So just kind of talk to us about giving that yes and really what that looks like as far as, when you gave your yes to being a pastor.
Giving the yes was not easy. It's not easy because you have friends that are like, oh, you're going to change, or you're not the same person you used to be, and thank God I'm not the same person I used to be. But I am a firm believer that everybody's been gifted with a purpose. No matter what you've done, no matter who you are, you've been gifted with a purpose in life. And with that purpose, with that gift comes 2 choices. You're either gonna choose action or inaction. And I think for the first 10, maybe even 15 years of my adult life, I chose inaction. And even though you choose inaction, that gift is still there. And so what happens is you have anxiety attacks, loneliness, depression, and it impacts you spiritually, physically, fiscally, emotionally, because you may not know what it is, you may not be able to put a finger on it, but that gift is there. And when you finally choose action, because it is like fire shut up in your bones, whether you use it or not. And when you finally choose action, your life changes. And so it made my yes a bit easier, because then I was like, aha, this is what's been missing. The reason I was so depressed and down and lonely and all these things. And so I have no choice in life, no matter what happens, because it's not always rainbows and sunshine, right? But I have no choice in life but to say yes and choose action.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it, because it is true. Whether you think you're making the choice of inaction or not, it's still that if you're not in action,
That's right? That's right.
I love that. I love that. And so with that, your husband is an elder at your church. So that in itself is phenomenal, for him to see the gift in you and let you walk that out in the way that you're called to do. And it is a beautiful marriage of us, sitting on the sidelines watching it. I'm not saying a technical marriage. I'm saying like the marriage of the blending of what you 2 are able to do as you give your yes and walk out in the kingdom. And so in doing that, you've got your businesses that you're running, you've got all of the things that you're doing. And so when we talk about balance of life, like how do you balance it all? Like we know that there's really no true balance, but how do the 2 of you balance so well?
God has gifted us differently. And so for him, he chooses and desires to be in the background. He likes to pull the strings and make sure things are working efficiently and fiscally. He is a penny pincher. I'm not. And so God has just gifted us. I mean, it's how you know we were just meant to be together, because he's gifted us so differently, because I'm the opposite. You handle all that, give me a microphone, honey. Like, so it becomes easy. And he's just such a supporter of my dreams that it makes it easy to reciprocate. And so the other businesses are dreams that he has always had since his senior book in high school, and he's 48 years old. And so it makes it easy to support one another, because it's just reciprocal.
That's so good, so good. So let me get into these
Okay.
businesses. Okay, so can I just say, I'm probably not gonna get it exactly right. Doesn't matter. What the important part is that having a semi-trucking business as an African American company or couple in this state is not normal, right?
No.
Having a freight business to run those trucks with is not normal. Right?
Absolutely not.
And so that is all a result, in my eyes, all a result of giving your yes. When you're handling God's business, He's like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And so those are the things that I talk to you guys about all the time, because you feel like you have to have all the pieces and know all the things. They didn't know exactly what they were doing when they got into this. They just gave their yes, and then
I had no idea. Never even thought of a truck or a semi, and I didn't even realize freight brokerage was a thing. But it was a dream that my husband has always had. And when you begin to not only give God your yes, but you really begin to study and show yourself approved, then all of your stuff is in a pile. And so it affords you opportunities to do things that the average person wouldn't be able to do. My husband's not a truck driver, he's an engineer by trade. And when we went to purchase the first semi, they were like, how did you do this? What did you do? We have just been trying to live our lives in a way that it sets an example. And that our path may not be your path, but if you make the right decisions along the way, study your craft, make sure you understand what it is you're trying to do, then it just aligns everything else and it becomes effortless.
Ah, yes, alignment of your assignment. That's the thing
I like
right there. Being in alignment of your assignment. And you know what? If you're out of alignment, then you know it, right?
Right.
That's
Oh,
when,
yes.
you get all the roadblocks and you're like, why isn't this going? Like, why am I trying so hard to do all the things and it's not working? You're out of alignment.
Right.
So start there.
Right.
And I love it because it's such a great example they are of being able to do things, like just to be able to watch what is possible. Because we kind of we can never do things that we don't have an example of. Mm-hmm. We can kind of have a vision and then get kind of stuck because we don't really know exactly what that is. But when you set yourself outside and just look like, wow, this is awesome. And so I don't desire to have a trucking company, but I am an entrepreneur, and so I can see what is possible, right? Just because I'm on the sidelines looking in, asking questions. And so that's why I encourage, everybody to do, because everybody wants to try to figure it out on their own, and you don't have to do that.
No, not at all. Not at
Right?
all. We bounce things off each other all the time.
All the time.
It's in the education of it all. You'll always be learning, always be honing your skills, always taking on something new and different. But you have to be open and you have to be receptive.
That's it, right there, right there. I call it being coachable. She calls it open and receptive. Same thing. Absolute same thing. And that is for sure of, when we get prideful. We're prideful. It's like, no, I got this. I don't need any help. I can figure it all out on my own. Can you? Because if you could, you would have. And so really think about that. You haven't because you haven't asked, and you haven't made yourself open and receptive.
Coachable.
So what else would you have to add to our Victory Talk viewers, just a value add that you feel like, I have their ear right now, I want them to know this?
I just want people to know that we all go through the storms, the trials, and the tribulations in life. And people look in and you see somebody like Tasha, or my members will see me and they'll go, oh, I'll never get there because my credit's not right, or I don't have the vision. We've been there. I have been there where a house has been foreclosed on, or a car has been repossessed, and you're trying to figure out what to do. I remember sitting in grad school. Mind you, grad school for me I was grown with 2 children already and married, and I remember having an anxiety attack in the middle of class. I got up in 5-inch heels, ran out, walked across trying to pull myself together, and I've had to ask myself, like, what is this? What is causing me to have these episodes? And when I really took the time out to spend some time with God, figure out what was missing, it was my inaction. I knew what I was called to do, but I didn't want to do it because it required so much work. I'm a woman. People don't respect women ministers. I won't be allowed in the pulpit. Like, all these things came to mind. I have to work. I'm not going to get paid as a preacher. Like, it was all these barriers. But sometimes you just have to start knocking those things down one at a time and move into action. Move into action. Ask questions. Be open, receptive, and coachable. And you would begin to see life shift in a way that's to your benefit.
That's so good. That's so good, because you're right. We feel like we have to do all the things. And like she said, she was trying to get yet another degree because those are the things that we feel like we're supposed to do, right? Check the boxes and pad that resume. Our calling is the thing that pads that resume.
That's right. That's right. He qualifies us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I will go ahead and wrap up here, and I am so grateful that you said yes to being my guest on Victory Talk. And I asked you, and you know this, but I will share with you guys, I asked her because I felt like it was so important that we saw an example of giving your yes when it's not the popular thing to do. It's not popular to be a female minister, let alone a female pastor, and she's young. So, there's all of those things that she could have seen as stacked against her, which she did initially, but she knew that she had to get in action and out of inaction. Oh, I love that. I can see more coming with those words. So Victory Talk and her sermon might sound the same.
Very much so.
So I thank you guys so much for joining us. And, for sure, you can reach out to Lena Middleton on all social media platforms if you have any questions about, really what does that look like? Because she might have pricked something within your soul that you're like, oh, I'm kind of convicted about that because I know that was something that I was called to do. And so please feel free to reach out to her. And of course, follow me on all social media platforms at Latasha White. My website is latashawhite.com. Hit that contact me tab. Put in your little note, come straight to me so that we can get connected and see what it looks like for you to jump in action. Also, that app is in your app store, GIVIN LLC. Thank you again for joining us on Victory Talk. And thank you again, Pastor Middleton.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, Latasha White here. I want to thank all of you for continuing to follow me on social media at Latasha White. But what I really want to bring to y'all right now is the brand new app in your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store. It is GIVIN, GIVIN LLC. And that's where you'll find all of your victory talks, all of your inspiration, and just go download the free app so you can stay in contact, get your push notifications. When I have new classes, you'll be the first to get notified. GIVIN LLC.